Back in my day, we didn't have 4K. We didn't have beautiful, creamy bokeh. We didn't have IBIS. We didn't have high dynamic range. But now, we do. So, should you bother buying one of these old camcorders in 2024? Now, you may think this is a stupid idea, and that's because it is. However, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. It takes me back to my childhood, because, you know, all the home videos of me back when I was a kid shot on cameras like these. Seems like all of us older Gen Zs are super enamored with the old school digital camcorder look. You know, point and shoots are all the rage right now. Old camcorders, not as much, but I think they should be. So this Sony DCR-SR85 shoots standard definition video, but it does shoot it at 16:9, which is great. Or not great, depending on if you want the super nostalgic look of a 4:3 image, but this shoots 16:9, so take that for what it's worth. This thing shoots with a CCD sensor instead of a CMOS sensor, so it gets a little bit of a different look, and that really lends to the nostalgic retro vibe it gives. The battery life isn't great, especially with these old batteries. You can still get batteries for it, but I still have one of the original batteries and it's not super good. The touchscreen is absolutely awful. It's really hard to cram your finger all the way down. It's really recessed. It's just not fun. It shoots all of its footage to a actual little hard drive that's in the side, so don't drop it. It does have a memory stick slot, but I don't really use that. Who uses memory sticks? I just shoot directly to this hard drive. It has a 2000x zoom if you factor in the digital zoom, which obviously sucks. It does have a decent optical zoom, but unfortunately, just like any of these things, once you zoom all the way in, you lose so much clarity. But I think that the flaws and the imperfections of this camera are what make it special. If it was great, if it was perfect, if it was, you know, competent and good, I wouldn't have even bought it. I wouldn't want it, I wouldn't want to use it, wouldn't want to shoot with it for nostalgic purposes. This thing only shoots 30 frames per second, so you don't get 24. It has awful audio quality. You can't plug a microphone into any 3.5mm audio jacks. I looked all over, can't find one. If you did want to use this for filmmaking and you want a dialogue, you could always just, you know, clap sync or whatever and then sync up the audio in post, which to be fair is what most of us do anyway. It doesn't have any pro features. It's all automatic exposure. The stabilization sucks. If you're a filmmaker, this is probably one of the worst cameras you can buy. But that's what makes it special. So like an idiot, I've rigged this thing out on my Movi M5, and surprisingly, it actually fit on here pretty decently. I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna film some stuff, gonna shoot some stuff on the gimbal with the Segway, gonna shoot some stuff handheld, gonna do some zoom ins and zoom outs to really get that nostalgia going. So there you have it. Footage shot on the Sony Handycam. It looked pretty good. Actually, it sucked. It looked awful, but that's the whole point of this thing. It's not supposed to look good. It's supposed to look like the old home videos our parents took of us back when we were kids. I love shooting on my nice cameras, like my Sony FX30 or my Canons for photography, but there's just something really special about shooting with these old cameras. Back when I was a kid, all of my home videos were shot on mini DV tapes. So this is one step above that. It's just shooting directly to an internal hard drive. But you get a very similar looking footage out of this camera, and I just love it. So I picked up this camera here, the Sony DCR-SR85. I picked it up at Goodwill for about $10. It was actually $9.99. It didn't come with a battery charger, so I had to buy a battery charger, but it did come with a battery that surprisingly still works. Not for very long, but it works, and I can turn it on, grab a few shots, and turn it off and go about my day. When my fiance and I take trips, sometimes I'll take this and we'll get some cool, nostalgic, fun video. It's just fun to shoot on. I don't even know why. It's just, you know, you hold it in your hand, you got this like camcorder, and you do the zoom, and it's just like, okay, that's kind of cool. I like to think it'll be fun memories for us to look back on when we're married and getting older and just look at the old footage and just say, yeah, that's some old footage. When you shoot on this thing, it just feels like it's old. Feels like you're taken back in time, and I think that that's something that we want, especially as technology keeps progressing faster than, honestly, I would like. I just think we like having that little time travel moment to get to go back in time, get to experience life when it was simpler, but today. There's just something so special about that, and something about using one of these cameras that makes me feel like I'm 8 years old again. And you know, that's a feeling that as we get older, we really chase. I think the whole thing with this is the same reason why people still buy Polaroids. People want that raw, nostalgic, old school feeling. They want to go back in time. And things like shooting on film or Polaroids, fun ways of doing that, but very expensive. I think that shooting on these old camcorders and old point and shoot cameras and all this is a super fun and cheap way to get that same nostalgic feeling. For one of these, you just pay one price one time. I paid $10 for this. Then I don't have to spend any money afterwards. I can just have fun. Now, obviously, you're not gonna find camcorders like this all the time for $10. I would say watch your local thrift stores. That's gonna be your best bet. For me, this camera does a good job of capturing a moment, capturing a feeling. It's not cinematic, but being cinematic doesn't always mean great quality imagery. Sharp lenses, sharp sensors, high dynamic range, beautiful, beautiful, nice bokeh, all that. Doesn't always mean that. Cinematic means it tells a story, and this camera tells a story. I wouldn't recommend this exact camera. I wouldn't recommend any particular camcorder. I'd just go and look for any random little camcorders that you can find. Mini DVs are fun, you just gotta convert them to digital, and that's a whole thing. Unless you just want to watch them over your RCA cables into an old TV, that's fun too. If you're looking for one of these, anything from Panasonic, Sony, some of the Canon ones, some of the older Canon ones are good. I wouldn't really recommend any of the new camcorders, like the new Sony Handycams or Canon Vixias or whatever. You know, they shoot 4K, the image is crisp and clear, and with that built-in lens and tiny sensor, you don't get that beautiful bokeh like I've got right now. You don't get very good low light performance. I would really just take that money and buy a used mirrorless camera. I'd go on mpb.com. You can find really affordable mirrorless cameras on there. I've bought multiple cameras from there, had a great experience. But yeah, try it out if you want or don't. I don't care. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you later if I ever make another video. Who knows at this point. If you've ever wondered how one of these collapsible diffusers gets collapsed, well, here's how. So you just fold it in half like so, grab the other side, and then you just put them all together like that. That's how you do it.